Hi, I'm Jane, and in this presentation I'll be informing you on the wildebeest and how it regulates blood pressure. So, blood pressure regulation occurs in wildebeest to keep their blood at a set point in order for it to reach their vital tissue, carrying nutrients and oxygen, crucial for survival. Before we begin, you will first need to know about homeostasis. Homeostasis is the process by which an organism or cell actively regulates its internal conditions in order to stabilize functioning regardless of the outside changing environment. Homeostasis is maintained by feedback control systems that respond to and detect changes in the internal environment. The endocrine system is essential in maintaining homeostasis. It involves a series of glands called endocrine glands, which are located throughout the body. These glands secrete hormones directly into the blood for transport to target specific organs, glands, and cells. Homeostasis is maintained by control systems, feedback loops, which detect and respond to changes in the internal environment. A control system is made up of various components involving a stimulus which causes a disruption to homeostasis, a receptor, a control center, and an effector, which brings about the response. The output is the action of the effector. There are two main types of feedback mechanisms, positive and negative. Negative feedback is the most common in the body, and when a change occurs in the system, a negative feedback loop will set off a corrective mechanism which acts to reverse the change, bringing it back to normal set point. Now I will begin to show you how a feedback loop works to maintain homeostasis and the regulation of blood pressure in a wildebeest. Firstly, there is input to the system, which means information has been received from the body or from the external environment. This is known as a disruption to homeostasis and is called the stimulus. In referring to blood pressure, this will be the changing of high or low blood pressure in a wildebeest. This change in blood pressure activates the receptors known as bioreceptors. Bioreceptors are pressure-sensitive nerves found in the large arteries closest to your heart, such as the aortic heart, that monitors dilation and of elastic walls of the arteries and blood pressure, sending signals to the controller. The purpose of bioreceptors is to maintain cardiac output and the amount of blood circulating your body to your organs. The controller is known as the medulla oblongata. It controls the autonomic functions of the wildebeest. The medulla coordinates and interprets information, sending off instructions to correct the change to its original condition. Instructions are sent to different areas of the autonomic nervous system, which controls functions of the heart. In this case of blood pressure regulation, the heart will be the effector of the system, showing a response that maintains homeostasis. If there was an input that caused a decrease in blood pressure, then this causes activation of the sympathetic nervous system, resulting in increased cardiac output and vasoconstriction of vessels of both arterial and nervous systems. This would then increase the blood pressure back up to the normal range, maintaining homeostasis. This leads me further into the purpose of blood pressure regulation, cardiac output, and vascular resistance. Changes in blood are constantly made in wildebeest direct to the right amounts of oxygen and nutrients to specific parts of the body. This is necessary for the wildebeest's survival. Blood pressure is the pressure of blood built up against the walls of your arteries, which takes blood from your heart to the rest of your body. It is primarily produced by the concentration of the heart muscle. The body must adjust and regulate the amount of blood being pumped through its heart and also adjust the amount of pressure in blood vessels throughout the body by altering their diameter. In order to survive, the heart pumps blood and gives the body the oxygen and energy it needs. Cardiac output is the measure of the amount of blood being pumped out of the heart in 1 minute and supplies blood to the muscles and organs of your body. However, this can depend on the speed and extent of the cardiac muscle. Cardiac output is made up of two components, heart rate and stroke volume. This means cardiac output is a combination of how many times the heart beats per minute as well as the amount of blood getting pumped out per minute. Total peripheral resistance is measured in terms of force required to maintain blood flow in vessels, especially in the small arterioles. This is furthermore important when understanding blood pressure regulation in the wildebeest. The height of a male wildebeest is 111 to 120 centimeters tall, while the height of a female wildebeest is about 108 centimeters at the shoulder. Male wildebeest on average weigh 180 kilograms, whereas females weigh about 155 kilograms. On average, this is twice the weight of a human, and the size of a wildebeest's heart is approximately 2 times larger than a human's heart. This means the wildebeest heart is generating more blood to fulfill its body mass needs and why vasodilation and vasoconstriction is so important. Vasodilation increases the diameter of lumen in the arterioles, resulting in a decreased blood flow. Arterioles are very important to blood pressure regulation because as a group they are the most regulated blood vessels and contribute the most to blood pressure in the body. Arterioles respond to a variety of chemicals and are constantly changing in size to speed up or slow down blood flow. Because the diameter of the blood vessel increases, the pressure of blood against the arterioles walls will decrease. This means there is a decrease in blood pressure. Vasoconstriction results from the increased contraction of the cellular smooth muscle in the wall of the arteriole. As the diameter of the lumen in the arteriole decreases, the flow of blood through the vessel is compact, so it decreases. This means blood pressure against the blood vessel wall is greater. We can use this idea to think about the wildebeest exercising. Wildebeest are fairly unique organisms, as when they are born, they are often able to stand and run within minutes. This is an adaptive advantage as wildebeest are primary prey in Africa for large mammals such as lions and cheetahs. This is useful as the innate behavior helps the young in the presence of a predator such as a lion. Their blood pressure will rise due to stress or adrenaline. Adrenal glands produce their hormones in response to stress. They are part of the endocrine system which sit above the kidneys and will secrete stress hormones called adrenaline. Adrenal glands will protect the other organs and tissues from the consequences of stress and then guide regulatory systems back to maintain homeostasis. They respond to stress in three main stages. Firstly, the adrenal glands enlarge and the blood supply to them increase. Secondly, as the stress continues, the glands begin to shrink. And thirdly, adrenal exhaustion occurs. If adrenal exhaustion occurs, it would mean a loss of homeostasis. Adrenal glands will prepare the wildebeest for either running or cause the creature to go into fright by increasing the cardiac output and constricting the blood vessels through vasoconstriction. This is to result in an increase of blood pressure. Why does this happen? Because the wildebeest muscles are producing more waste, such as carbon dioxide, because the muscles do more work and are recycling more oxygen. This also explains why you breathe harder when you exercise. As the heart pumps harder to circulate blood around the body, the wildebeest's blood pressure rises. This allows the wildebeest to build up enough energy to escape the predator in order for survival. So, running from a predator is a good example when talking about blood pressure regulation and maintaining homeostasis. In this feedback loop, the stimulus, which is an increase in blood pressure, causes the disruption in homeostasis. The rise in blood pressure will stimulate bioreceptors sending nerve impulses to the medulla oblongata. The medulla will cause a dilation of blood vessels to lower peripheral resistance, which will then increase blood flow by sending signals to the heart as the heart is still pumping hard to push blood through the narrow veins. The heart then acts as the effector and aims to change the blood pressure back to original condition. This brings us to what happens if there is a major disruption in the feedback system. If a wildebeest was attacked by, say, a lion, homeostasis may not be able to be maintained as a large amount of blood may be lost and the wildebeest may enter hypovolemic shock. The break in the feedback loop located in the effector may cause the wildebeest organs to stop working and the body may no longer be able to circulate and regulate blood, causing the creature to die. An adaptive advantage to the increase of blood pressure whilst exercising is the more blood flowing at a faster rate means body cells are able to get more oxygen and disperse waste faster. This establishes good health in the wildebeest. As a result of homeostasis, when the wildebeest's blood pressure increases, the regular feedback loop can restore the wildebeest's blood pressure to original condition. The original condition is likely to have a lower heart rate, which means the heart doesn't need to beat as often to keep up with metabolic demands. This means in turn the wildebeest will have more energy for other daily needs such as migration, feeding, and mating. Finally, perhaps the most important adaptive advantage of blood pressure regulation in the wildebeest is adaptations of the arteries. The function of the arteries is to transport blood to tissues such as organs, glands, and cells. The artery has three components: the tunica intima, the tunica media, and the tunica externa. The tunica intima is made from endothelium which sits on a thin layer of elastic fibers. The middle layer, called the tunica media, is made of small muscle and elastic fibers. Blood flows through the lumen, which helps control the diameter of blood vessel, contributing to blood pressure. Finally, the outside component, the tunica externa, consists of elastic and collagen fibers. It is a strong layer that allows arteries to stretch whilst preventing overexpansion. Arteries also have the thickest walls of any blood vessel in the body. This, along with the smooth muscle and elastic fibers, allow the wall to morph as blood from the heart travels through vessels at a various pressure. It is especially useful to high blood pressure. The fact that they are elastic and are able to recoil after being stretched is vital to ensure a specific amount of blood can travel through vessels when maintaining homeostasis. As arteries get further from the heart and closer to the target tissue, they branch into smaller vessels known as arterioles. The arterioles are smaller versions of the arteries and have more muscle to push the blood along blood vessels, which is why artery adaptations are so significant in blood pressure regulation. Arterioles are able to enhance or restrict blood flow, such as restricting blood flow during exercise because of vasoconstriction to help maintain homeostasis. Overall, blood pressure regulation is needed in order for an organism to survive and to maintain/reestablish a normal set point or blood pressure.